It shows your tips for Pro Group Racing. Daggy and Beaver with you. Look towards some midweek racing from from the Warwick Farm. We are, in fact, and the hillside track down south at Sandown. A reasonable day at Randwick on the weekend, Beaver Boy. Couple of winners right through the card there.
Yeah, it wasn't too shabby on the day, mate. Quite a prosperous day there at Randwick, which was nice, and a couple of nice winners up in Doomben as well. That were really nice wins. Goldsborough and Uncommon James were impressive, and probably the highlight for me at Randwick, particularly, was Kanazawa. They put a lot of money on it, sat behind them, and won quite convincingly, as did Crosstalk in the last.
And well, the ones we singled out, Conscript was heavily backed, and Waihaha, and pretty painless watches if you were on all of them, to be honest. So that was
all
nice.
4 of those. Inundation was a flop in Caulfield.
Yeah. Outside, yes, rode the pace there, and whether it was a end of prep run, not sure. Is there any horses worth talking about following? We're sort of in transition phase now. I think obviously Waihaha was good, and a couple of these ones at Randwick will win again with the right ratio.
I think a couple of those. Yeah, I think those horses, Kanazawa, Crosstalk, Conscript, Uncommon James. I think all of that. They're all horses that you'd want to stick with it this time of the year, going well and flying, and winning form's good for them.
Particularly if they'll just turn up in the same conditions 2 weeks' time. It's pretty easy, I think.
Yep.
You will be overthinking that one, but we are a couple of weeks away from spring, so we'll watch and see with the fresh blood starting to come through, as there is tomorrow at Warwick Farm, where we have the rail in the 5 metre mark from the 1,000 to the winning post, 3 the remainder, heavy 10, but at least some sunshine in Sydney town today. I'm feeling you probably don't want to be too far from the pace, maybe up and on the pace there at Warwick Farm. It feels a little bit similar to Saturday, and if it wasn't a heavy track, I'd be pretty keen in most races. But let's see how it plays out. We kick off with 2 and 3-year-old Maiden over the 1,100 metres with a couple of debutants here. Beaver, how are you going to start the day?
Yeah, look, couple of debutants here. I've gone for the favourite in this, around the even money, Wave Rider Boy from the Wallace stable, resuming here, Pike aboard. Its first up run at Rose Hill was pretty impressive, to be honest. Ran a really close second to Calgary Stampede, which is a decent enough horse, and a couple of the trials have been untested, but I think this will be winning first up.
Same for me. Sort of picks himself. The last trial was not as good, but wasn't as synthetic. But the first trial back was great. So picks itself here. Not a lot of opposition, to be honest. If it repeats the debut run, as you said, it should win this if it starts on the heavy track with Waller here. But race 2 is a 1,200 metre 2-year-old race. Handful of debutants as well. I'm sticking with Arch of Titus here. He's now 3rd up, gets control without a great deal of pace around it. Got back to 3rd place last time, just nabbed on the line there. And this should set up quite well for a bit of a claim, helps as well. Now, I thought the John Thompson horse here, Crafty Eagle, was a couple of really quiet trials and hit the line well in both, and maybe one to have a bit of a spec on away from it. How are you looking at this race?
Yeah, I thought this was probably one of the harder races on the day, and for that, I've gone for Spirit of Omo from the Waterhouse stable. I thought its trials were pretty good, and then its run wasn't too bad at Gosford. A bit surprised that it didn't lead, but I think you might find that as Waterhouse does with some of these, this might explode out and try and jump to the front here, and I think you may see it turn around if it does get to the lead and can cross Arch of Titus, and therefore might be able to get away with it. But yeah, hoping it just jumps and runs, and that race experience helps.
I'm thinking, I've noticed the Waterhouse team's gone looking for Brenton Avdulla on some of these ones that had formerly been ridden by Rachel King. I think that's a good booking here. I don't think he's going to mess around, especially 100%. Not get stuck outside lead there. Race 3 is a staying race, the 2,140 metres, benchmark 72. Well, where I am sticking with, said Brenton Avdulla on the Milky Bar Kid. Impressive last 2 runs. Comes here, sets up in a race with very little pace. It's going to jiggy jog up in front. Was very soft through the line at the 1800. I think up to 200 up in distance for the Waterhouse team. Tick, tick, and very, very hard to beat. In fact, that's all I want to talk about, to be honest. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. I don't think we need to say too much more. Milky Bar Kid looks too good for these. You're taking the shorts, but I think you'll get the chocolates. Pardon the pun.
Race 3. Race 4, in fact, is the 1300 meters. Move on. 1400 meters benchmark 64. Where I'm sticking again with the favourite. Cotton Fingers resumed nicely, sat outside lead. It was at Canterbury, but it bolted in there. It took off and was soft again. Comes here, it's only a 64. I don't think, once again, this isn't a very strong race. Shouldn't be far from the pace, and I think it's going to be very hard to beat. Again, don't have a lot else I want to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I thought I think the $3 is a really good price at the moment. Really liked its first up win. I think the second horse, Wolves, has got a bit of ability, so the way it put pay to it, it was impressive. It's got the 61, but this is not a lot of depth to this race. Should be winning. Pacheco, number 8, could be the main danger.
Race 5 is the mile, benchmark 72. Supposedly the highest rated race on the card, but it's a low race here. Does anything tickle your fancy?
Highest rated, lowest race. Oh. Not a lot takes my fancy here. If I had to have a bet, I'd probably go the top 8 Dynamic Impact with Bowman aboard from the Beyond Baker stable. It's been racing in the company of Jojo Was a Man, the last couple, who's flying at the moment. It's been a way off them, but maybe it can run well.
Yeah, Media Starguest is dead to me, but it surely this is its race. It fits here quite well, but do I want to back it? Not particularly. Do I want to talk about anything else? Look, I went looking for Just Business, who came out of a couple of midways away from that. And when I'm doing that, I'll just go and have a cup of tea during this race. I think the 1100 meter benchmark is the other 72 on the benchmark 72 on the card, and just looking through a much better one. Just looking through the scratchings there. Keen on a couple. Glittery comes back from Saturday grade, where it just got right out of its ground in an on-pace race there. Nice win first up at midweek grade. Fits in really well here. A bit of a claim for Reece Jones on the wet helps. And Essioni did win a midway in a good form injury. I think both second and third have won since, if I'm correct. With Cruel Summer running, or no, did he win? Ran well on the weekend, and Rebel Shadow
second
out of that race too. Inside Gate, I assume, will be a bit further forward. And I just think these couple of other ones coming from Hawkesbury are taking up too much of the market for me. So at both prices, I'll back both horses. At the prices, I'll back both horses. Beaver, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I settled on Glittery as well. Third up now. Now gets a 2 kilo claim for Reece Jones. Was impressive first up, and as you said, got way out of its ground on a leader-dominated race, won by Ruben Ochi at Rose Hill last time in. I hope it doesn't get too far back in this field, but handles the heavy going. I think this sets up okay for it, and I think it can run much better here. Back to this midweek company. I've got it on top.
Lovely. 1300 meters, 72 takes us home. The lead-ups looks to be through that Stormy Rock race, but how have you split them up?
Yep, got Stormy Rock again. I feel it meets it slightly better on the weights now with 2 kilo claim for Reece Jones. Miranea goes up a kilo, Stormy Rock stays at the same weight. So for beating it last start, meets it a kilo better. Got the 3 draw, the other's got the 4, so it can actually either push up and hold it out, or sit in behind it, whatever it chooses to do. And hopefully that will be the telling factor at the end. I kind of went looking to see if there was any other form lines outside of that race, and unfortunately I couldn't find it, so I had to settle on those 2.
Yeah, the form line, I might have something on his Safika, the Irish horse debuting. I think the trials have been okay, but I think that's the right form. And I think watching it back, Stormy Rock won with all honours there. And it was first up, natural improvement. And as you said, Reece Jones, a bit of a claim. I think all ticks. Stormy from Marooney, who will run well again. And I think that's the race for me. We'll see how that pans out. Progress Racing Beaver, your best in value.
Yeah, Daggy, my best comes up in race 4, number 2, Cotton Fingers. I think it presents nice value and it's going to be super hard to beat. And my value bet comes up in race 2, number 7, Spirit of Vomo.
Lovely. I'm going to make my best Milky Bar Kid, but I do like the running double there of in race 2 and 3, race 3 and 4, I should say. And my value will be the blue colours Glittery in race number 4. We head down to Sandown Hillside, where it is a wet Sandown Hillside, apparently, with the rail in the 6 metre mark. Again, I don't think you want to be too far off the pace, but probably coming down the middle of the track throughout the afternoon. We kick off with the 1300 metre maiden. I think we can start the day with a winner. I think Only Human looks ready to win here. Resumed with a nice run a couple of weeks back. Before that, ran well at the track and going out, last run, last prep. Looks ready for a win, and I think all the cards have aligned, or stars have aligned here. The resuming Psychologist, I think, might be the main danger. Outside gate, Jamie Mott, and a couple of okay jump outs heading towards this race. How are you going to start the day in Melbourne?
Yeah, look, hopefully we can get off with a winner, as you said, because I think it gets quite tricky later in the day. Plenty of value, but some quite a tricky affairs. I've tipped Only Human. I think its first up run was a good one, coming off some decent form last preparation, particularly at Sandown. Ran 4th in a race won by Squid Game. So that's pretty good form for a race like this. And Hypothetical was pretty impressive last start. So I think it can run well and gets a little bit of weight relief. So well drawn, hard to beat.
Race 2 is the 1300 metre 2-year-old race here, with a whole bunch of these coming through synthetic track lead-ups. Did you have anything that caught your eye?
Look, this is a super open race. All these horses are sort of coming off a first or a second at their last run, all the chances. I just played outside the mark a little bit here. I went for Joyrider from the Freedman stable. Coming over from Murray Bridge, I think its second was a pretty good one. Ran second to Zoo Sensation, who backed up that form post that. That's a good pointer for me for this. Blinkers go on. Could run well at double figure odds.
Yeah, it was well back that day too, from memory. So I thought to say at the big price, it was a good bet to have here, because I was on it first up on debut. From the blue colours, Chopin, who was all over the shop on debut on a synthetic, never really got going to the last couple 100 metres, and then bounced up nicely and hit the line pretty well. I thought they're the two, both at each way prices, I was happy to play in this race, but as usual with the 2-year-old stuff, we'll know more after it. The staying race is race 3, the 2400 metre benchmark 70. I'm with Farrago here, for whatever that's worth. Jamie Mott looks a good rider for it, but it covered ground, did a lot of work last start, and just got nabbed late in the line with a gap back to third. A better run here should set up to run quite well, but all the forms through the lead up, 1, 2, 3 from the race 2 weeks ago are all here. I think they probably run similar again. We're going to just flip the Quinella there, Farrago from here for a good time. Yourself?
Same. I tipped Farrago last start, and I'm going to back up again here to get the money back. Thought same as you, had a much tougher run last time, and I think this sets up much nicer for it, and I think meets it slightly better on the weights as well. So gets roughly about a 2 kilo pull here. So I think that'll be enough to turn the tables.
Race 4 is a benchmark 64. You were keen on parlayed last time in Sydney, pulled up lame. Are we going to have another crack here?
I'm going to have another crack here. I was keen on it last time, and I'm happy to forgive that. It's going down to to Melbourne. I don't know if it went down there looking for better tracks and possibly hasn't got that. Probably the major concern, but still willing to risk that and hope that it's bounced back, because if it has, it will be hard to beat. So I've got it on top.
Yeah, agree. I found it as I think it's a nice price at around the
Yep.
420 there. I think it's a good price to find out. I assume it's going to be. They think it's not going to handle it. It won't run. So on
Yep.
top for me from AC Supreme, who again another synthetic lead up here, but did win well there, and the Moody Stable's really starting to fire at the moment. So 4 from 3 for me in race number 4. Race 5 is a field of it's a field of horses, not many of them like winning too often. I don't really want to have much to do with this race at all. For the record, I did tip Derive at a big price last time. It hit the line well in crowded room. Does set up well here, but I've got a feeling that was its run for the prep. It's a bit of a second up horse. And to be honest, I don't really want to talk too much more about the rest of this race because a lot of these haven't won for a while, and many of them will go out of this race having not won again. So, pass for me, Beaver. Yourself?
Yeah, for exactly that reason, I went for Free Flying Star. It's won 2 this preparation and wasn't far off from finishing third in its only other starts from the Patrick Payne stable. Craig Williams aboard. I thought that was all a good pointer. Has won 2 out of 4 with a placing, excuse me, on the heavy. And that form's been pretty good. I think you can just sit off the pace here and hopefully get the track into the race and the gap opens and it bursts through to win. So around $5, I'm pretty keen.
Yeah, fair call. Absolutely. It was the other one that at least has some runs on the board lately. The mile benchmark 70 is race 6. I'll make a case here for Miss Gobkang, who won well first up, went to town on finals day and ran quite well, just a length off Mega Mia. And the couple of other Waller horses there hit the line nicely, perfect for a mile, back to midweek grade, back to benchmark 70, all ticks. And I'm pretty keen. I think it's going to be very hard to beat here. Sentiro at some point will win another one of these races for the Payne stable. Is going quite well, but needs to get one on the board. What do you make of this?
Yeah, look, certainly plenty of reasons for Miss Gobkane. It was a good run last up. Mega Mia was a really nice win, but I've just gone looking for it's a wide market. I've come up with number 3, Laundy. I thought its return was pretty good. Got well out of its ground. And only back sort of towards the back of the field and flashed home to be only 3 lengths off Seb Song. Gets the extra distance here and the blinkers go on. So I think that's a good pointer. Well suited at the distance, had 8 starts for 3 wins and 4 placings. And if you go back last preparation, ran some really nice races, albeit over a bit further. So I think it can potentially put a good run in a wide open market.
Lovely. Race number 7, 1800 meter bench. Oh, you're right.
Yep, that's better.
Cool. Race 7, benchmark 70 over the 1800 meters. My old mate Coulth is back. I'm not going to talk about him. I'm going to let you tell me who's going to win this race.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not, because either am I. To me, which probably gives it a good chance, but I won't have my money. I've gone for Parisian Dancer around $5.50. I think this sets up quite nicely. Again, getting to its peak fitness this preparation. 3 starts over the 1600. Last one was pretty good. Come from 8th on the turn to finish 3 lengths off Cyclone Sally in 3rd. So I think the extra 200 here suits. John McNeil aboard. I think it sets up here and can run a really nice race.
Yeah, I agree. That's why on top. Parisian Dancer loves a wet as well. All ticks. You've covered that off. Hopkins double figures gets Ollie, and you can sort of put a pen through. Last time it's had Craig Newt for a while. Gets Damien Oliver $16, and has yet to miss a placing here at the track and distance. So I think we'll run well again. And other bits and pieces here. Mark Holt at some point will pick up another one of these races, but I've gone with Parisian Dancer, the wet tracker from Hopkins at a price for me. We're going to wrap up the day with benchmark 78 at 1400 meters. And another one I've been hanging with, and I'm going to stick one more time, is Sig Positano. Been really honest in Saturday grade for a while, and now comes back to midweek, gets an okay blending draw for this time of the day, and I'm hoping we'll run well here at the price from Gusonic, who's coming off a Sydney win. Back to here, double figures. I'm keen on both of them at their respective prices, Beaver.
Yeah, fair call. Again, another wide open market, tough race. I've narrowed it down to 2. I've put near 1 on top. I think it's been fairly consistent here, and I thought it's slash run. Again, flashed home behind Umgawa, who goes okay, and then had won a nice race prior to that at a 2K. So I think it's going quite well at the moment. Again, Craig Williams aboard. And I also thought the knockout chance, now it's 4th up, is reckoning. Ran a really nice first up race behind Visionary, then went to Morphettville, got out of its ground and flashed home there, and then again flew home against Hizar Bonville last start. I think if they can finish off down the middle of the track here, this could be the one coming right on top of them, but you'll need to see whether the track pattern allows for horses running on, particularly late in the day.
Yeah. Cool. For progroupracing.com.au, your best and value.
Yeah, my value bet comes up in race 7 at number 11, Parisian Dancer. That's my best of the value, but I think there's a fair few value bets that I've put out there, to be honest. And my best bet comes up in race 1, number 7, Only Human.
I'm going to make Miss Gobkane my best here. I think it sets up very nicely, but I like it. I'm with Parisian Dancer as my value. But as you said, I think there's value right through the card, including even Gusonic in last against Sig Positano, Hopkins earlier. So I'm pretty keen to play a bit wider in some of those races. What have you got for us up in Queensland?
Yeah, I've got a couple up, 3 in Queensland, I think it is. Race 4, number 8, Hasson first starter up there, trialling really well. I think it might run well. Race 5, number 1, Fast Talking. That's my best bet of the day, and followed by race 6, number 3, Joy to All. I think it can return to the winners list. So they're my 3 bets up there. All should run well.
Lovely. Hopefully it brings a bit of joy to all of us, Beaver. Good job again, mate. Good punting tomorrow, and we'll be back Thursday night to look towards Saturday as we plough towards another spring carnival. Check out progroupracing.com.au for everything going on there. Take care, guys, and we'll talk soon.